I could while away the hours, conferring with the flowers, consulting with the rain.
Before there were the hit songs of Stephen Schwartz's Wicked, there were the American songbook classics from The Wizard of Oz. Who is the man behind the lyrics of If I Only Had a Brain and Over the Rainbow? E.Y. Harburg. Known as Yip, the Jewish lyricist was born Isidore Hochberg to Yiddish-speaking Russian Orthodox Jewish parents on New York City's Lower East Side. It is here that Harburg developed his creative identity, heavily influenced by his poor immigrant upbringing and boyhood experiences attending Yiddish theater in the neighborhood. As a lifelong democratic socialist, Harburg used his lyrics as a way to challenge capitalism and encourage empathy for the working class. Harburg's socially conscious and also fantastically hopeful lyrics appear in a range of Broadway productions to Hollywood films, like the famous suite of songs that he wrote for The Wizard of Oz. Join us as we go inside Harburg's living room to hear about his lyric writing process for the Wizard of Oz film, and to experience a joy-filled performance from Yip and his pianist of the Scarecrow's famous song, If I Only Had a Brain.
You know, Hollywood is very often maligned because they produce supposedly inferior pictures. But every now and then, Hollywood does produce a real masterpiece, a classic. And it did when it made a picture called The Wizard of Oz. This has so many wonderful elements, and one of the great musical scores with, of course, the lyrics by Mr. Harburg. This is a perennial now. It's shown every year on television networks. It's become a family must around holiday season. Yip, how does it feel to be a classic?
It feels as if I've outstayed my welcome here. This is one of the few rare times in a lifetime of writing that Harold Arlen and I really had a chance at a book that had meaning, had profundity and fantasy, and where everybody surrounding the project was in communion with it. That very rarely happens in the theater. Usually everything is geared for some commercial project. And here they wanted a prestige picture. They were a little frightened of it. It took a lot of going before they decided this, and a lot of prodding. But once they went all out. Here are three characters: a tin man who hasn't got a heart, a scarecrow who hasn't got a brain, a cowardly lion who has no courage. Three of the essential things in life. Without them, we perish. Everybody is looking for wisdom, knowledge. Everybody is looking for love, the heart. Everybody is looking for courage to face life courageously, not hysterically. And with these three basic things that the show starts off with these people seeking that. And little Dorothy is looking for a home, which is another basic. Without the soil, there is no soul. And then comes the search for these magnificent basic things. And they think a wizard will get it for them. It'll come from the outside. The wizard is a humbug. And how true that is for everybody, that we're all looking for somebody to give us these essential, the elementary and basic things in living. And so the picture, I think, gives children who really think more clearly than grown-ups about the real moralities of life, the real values in life, gives them something to cling to and to feel instinctively that this is good, that there is goodness there. And on top of that, when you make it enchanting by giving them melody and twinkle and rhyme, you've got to set up. And this is the basis of all good art. It's the basis of Chaplin.
Yes, yes. Well, Yip, you know, of course, this is such a rich score. It would be very hard, I think, for anybody to pick out a favorite song, because they're all, you know, they all have such stature and such wonderful appeal. But now, if you had to pick one now, which one would you pick? If I said, you know, Yip, do us a song from Wizard.
I really couldn't pick because I really love that whole score, and I think Arlen.
Do you have any favorite, or do you have, is there any song that is, you know, particularly?
I've got my alter ego here. Judy, which song? Brain. Always leave it to a female to want a brain instead of a heart. Said a scarecrow swinging on a pole to a blackbird sitting on a fence. Oh, the Lord gave me a soul, but forgot to give me common sense. If I had an ounce of common sense, I could while away the hours, conferring with the flowers, consulting with the rain. And my head I'd be scratching while my thoughts were busy hatching if I only had a brain. I'd unravel every riddle for any individual in trouble or in pain. With the thoughts I'd be thinking I could be another Lincoln if I only had a brain. Oh, I could tell you why the ocean's near the shore. I could think of things I never thunk before, and then I'd sit and think some more. I would not be just a nuffin', my head all full of stuffin', my heart all full of pain. And perhaps I'd deserve you and be even worthier of you if I only had a brain. And my head I'd be scratching while my thoughts were busy hatching if I only had a brain. I'd unravel